Okay, so we often heard so much hype about open source AI models, especially for coding, and sometimes they're actually really good. Sometimes they're outperforming some bigger models like the ChatGPT models, or maybe Claude Sonnet, and maybe even the Gemini AI models. And remember, they are open source, and that means you can run it locally on your computer for coding. But the question is, how do you actually use these open source models like Qwen, DeepSeek, and Gemma on your computer for coding? What is the easiest way to run this model on your computer for coding? Now, actually, there are many apps. I mean, you can even use the open source models on VS Code using a sort of extension. But I have found an app that is really designed for running an open source model, and it is very simple. It is very similar to ChatGPT Codex and Code. It's literally a nice looking chatbot, but it is running on a local model. And of course, you can use it to build an app. You can use it to build a website. You can also do some agentic tasks, and again, it is running using a local AI model, so it is completely private and offline. And also, open source models are getting better lately. Now, I'm going to show you how you can use an app called OpenCode, and this is model agnostic program, so it doesn't care what models you're using. You can use any model, it doesn't really matter. Now, if you are new to this and you don't have an app on your computer that can run a local AI model, my best recommendation is to use LM Studio. So this is very popular app. You can use LM Studio to run some local models like GPTOSS, Qwen, Gemma, DeepSeek, and some other models out there. And also it's very intuitive, I would say, compared to other tools. Another option is Ollama, although Ollama is a bit more difficult because they don't actually have a comprehensive user interface. So I think for most people, just use LM Studio. Now I'm going to open the program. So LM Studio is only for running the model. I mean, you can use it for coding. I mean, you can see it here. It can produce code. You can chat AI and it can produce code, but it's not designed for coding tasks. It's not really designed for that. It is mostly for running a local AI model. So it's going to run the local AI model, and then for the coding task, we are going to use OpenCode. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how you can download the program. But for now, you need to download an AI model via LM Studio. So this is the nice looking interface of LM Studio. To download the model, you can click the search page, and then you can search the model that you want to download and use on your computer. Now, when it comes to the model that you have to use, generally speaking, you want to use a model with a bigger parameter. Like there's usually like 4 billion parameters, 5 billion parameters, 7 billion, 20 billion, 120 billion. So there are many options, but use the one that can fit on your computer. Now, right here, if you check at the model list, there are many options from the likes of NVIDIA, ZAI, Mistral. There's also Qwen, Hermes model, and there are plenty of models out here, but I want to use a model from Qwen because I think Qwen is still the goat for open source models, at least right now. So Qwen 3, I want to select Qwen 3.5 with 9 billion parameters. So another thing that to know is you want to use a model that has a tool calling capability indicated by this hammer icon. And also you might want to use a model with a reasoning or thinking capability because that's usually going to make the model to be a bit smarter, although that's not exactly mandatory. What's mandatory is the thinking ability, and also vision capability is also nice to have. Now here I have downloaded the model. It's Qwen 3.5 with 9 billion parameters. I use the 4-bit quantization, and in this particular compression, it is actually very efficient. It is only 6 gigabytes of footprint, so I can run it on a GPU with 8 gigabytes of video memory, and it can fit inside all of that. Now you can actually run it using your regular memory, your RAM, but it's going to be slower than VRAM. So that's one thing to know. Now, after you have downloaded the model on LM Studio, you can navigate to developer, and then you can start the servers to make sure that it is running. And here, I'm going to load that model. So I will select Qwen 3.5 with 9 billion parameters, and I recommend to enable this. And you want to adjust the setting a little bit, just click this menu. And then one thing here that's very important is the context length. So I want to increase it to, let's say, 64,000. So perhaps this is something that is not mentioned very often. So originally, as you can see here, it was 7 gigabytes of footprint for 4,000 tokens, but 4,000 tokens is so small, it's not even useful. So minimum, in my opinion, is 64,000. Maybe you can get away with 30,000, but 64,000 for coding is good enough. And as you can see, it's increased to 9 gigabytes. And I'm totally fine because I do have a 16 gigabytes of video memory, so that's not a problem. Now I'm going to click load model and just wait for the model to be loaded. And now we can start using OpenCode. So to get OpenCode, you can search it on Google, OpenCode, and you can download the program via opencode.ai. So this is, again, by far the easiest tool to install and use. So you can navigate to the download page, and you don't have to install it via command line if you don't want to, because they do have a desktop interface with a one-click install. So this command line is not necessary if you don't want to use it. So click the desktop version here. So OpenCode desktop. It's still in beta, but I think it's quite decent. Now I'm using Windows, so I actually have downloaded the Windows version, but you can use the Mac and Linux version of OpenCode desktop. Now let me just go back to OpenCode, and this is the interface. I guess let me change the UI or the color to be a bit brighter. I just don't like this. It's too dark. There you go. It looks way better. Now, as you can see, it looks very similar to Claude Code and ChatGPT Codex. It's not like another fork of VS Code where it's so complicated. There are many buttons, menus, and knobs, but this is a tool that is designed for running an open source local model for vibe coding. Now I'm going to start a new project, and I have to select the folder on my downloads folder. So I have this folder called Pet Clinic, and I'm going to select that. Okay, so you can start the chat. So that folder is becoming my project, or my my workspace here in OpenCode. But at the moment we cannot chat yet. I mean, you can, but it's going to be using some cloud-based model. We want to use a local model, and therefore we have to add a model or a provider. So you can click the settings and then go to providers and search for custom provider. Click connect, and let's call this one LM. You know what? LM Studio new, I guess, because I already added some providers before, and if I'm using the same name, it's not going to accept that. So yeah, that's why I just added this extra new to the name. Now for display name, it is LM Studio, and for the base URL, we actually have to copy it from LM Studio. So reachable at this URL, I'm going to copy it and just paste and add /p1. So that's the URL for me. And for the API key, you don't have to type anything. For the model's ID, now this is very important. Let's go back to LM Studio, and on the model that you have loaded, you want to copy the model ID, and you can go back to OpenCode, copy paste that, and let's call it Qwen 3.5 9B. Let's call it local, so I will know that it is running locally, and that's about it. And click submit. Okay, LM Studio is now connected, but when you open the model selector, you don't see that model. So if that happens, I do recommend to close the app and then open it again. Yeah, it has to be done because, well, I guess there is a bug or glitch in the program. But after that, you can select the model that you just added from LM Studio. Qwen 3.5 non-billion parameters. And there you go. Let me just say hi. Let's see if I can get a response from AI. Actually, you can see that on LM Studio it is running, it is producing some tokens. So yeah, it is working. Cool. Now, let's say I want to build a website. So in that folder, I actually have added some files, some pictures, and also there is a design.md file. So this is basically just an instruction about how the website should look. It's just the color, the font, etc. So it's just a bunch of rules that AI must follow, but it's not exactly mandatory. Now, let's say I want to tell AI to build a website. I want you to build a pet clinic website based on the photos that I have provided in the folder, and also you can check the design.md file for the visual instruction. And the following is the info about the business. I'm going to copy and paste that. Okay, sorry about that. I actually have provided a sort of business info that I'm going to copy. So it's going to be used by AI to populate the website with some content. Okay, there you go. And send a message and just wait for the result. So yeah, as you can see, the model is now running, it is producing the answer, and yeah, it's just an amazing thing to look at. It's running locally. It is not using any cloud-based model, and you don't have to pay for API. You don't have to worry about privacy. Everything is running locally. Now, this might take quite a while, so I'll just skip a word and I'll show you the final result. Okay, so it took some back and forth, but finally it is done. Now, just to give you some context, well, if you click this button, you can see how many tokens in this particular chat window. So I'm hitting 52,000 tokens in total for just a few messages. So, I mean, 64,000 tokens of context window is okay. It's bare minimum, but as you can see, it can get really high very quickly. So that's probably one very important information when you are running a local AI model. And by the way, it is also possible to check the files that were generated by the AI model. You can open these menus to check the structure of the file, so that can be very useful. Although right now I don't see the option to preview the build directly on this app, so you have to use a browser. And speaking about that, I'm going to show you the website that was built by that model. There you go. So this is the website, and yeah, I mean, it looks quite decent. So there are some images. Actually, there's only one picture in total. Now I can see that there are some problems, like the menus here is just not looking good, and also there should be a gap here. And yeah, I mean, there are many things that need to be improved, but for a website that was built using a local model and with just 6 GB of footprint, I think it's quite decent. I can use something bigger here, obviously, because I'm recording this video, so I need some headroom to make sure that it didn't crash my computer. But yeah, now that's basically how you can use a local model via LM Studio and OpenCode to do some coding. And this is by far the easiest and the most intuitive way to utilize your local AI model to perform some coding tasks. So I hope you learned something from this video. And if you want to see some AI use cases and updates in the future, then you can subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a great day.